Hello, it is me. That's right. Again, coming back from the vacation, double video in a row. That is how we do it here at DLE. Coming at you with another in-depth guide for Gaia. Gaia came out when I was out of the office. Now I'm back. I was playing it quite a bit when I was away. And now that I know that the main box is not going to have any real Gaia support, no direct support, I was like, all right, it's time for the video. These videos I do like to take a little bit more time to produce and make because I want to make sure that the information is correct. I want to make sure that the information is valid. And, you know, I want to make sure that it's an actually competitively viable deck, at least cog-worthy, before bringing out the in-depth review. So I apologize for how long that these typically tend to take, but I do hope that you enjoy, you know, the little bit higher quality of a video rather than the quickly made videos that we typically do on the channel. Try to shake it up for you guys. Just let me know in the comments what you prefer, and if you enjoyed a video like this before we get started. You know, make sure like, comment, subscribe, all that good shenanigans. So, another anime deck, Dragons, Knights, Paths, Gaia came out in a structure deck, and it's pretty good. It's actually a pretty good deck, IMO. It's one of those decks that's very straightforward, kind of linear if we're being honest. I'm not gonna, you know, tell you there's a million paths of play with the deck, but what the deck does do well is if you know a lot about the damage step, know a lot about, you know, the actual mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh, you can definitely abuse your opponent or even abuse players that are playing this deck because you just know more about how the game works. This is definitely the type of deck that can abuse something like that. So before we get started, this is another deck that pretty much relies on the skill. It doesn't rely on the skill as much as like probably Resonators do, but there is still reliance on the skill to make the deck work. Dragon Knight's Path, you get that by I believe it was summoning 20 warrior monsters with any of the Yugis, Dark Side Dimension, normal Yugi, or Yami Yugi. You just have to summon 20, so it's kind of cool. I do think you should pretty much always choose Yami Yugi. That way you can bluff Destiny Draw on the ladder, but that's so minor. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Just a little minor thing that you can do to mind trick your opponent into thinking you're playing a D-Draw deck. Before you surprise, it's actually Dragon Knight's Path. So Dragon Knight's Path, very, very powerful for this deck. Essentially, you choose one card in your hand, send it back to the deck, and you put a Galloping Gaia face up onto the board. This card's insane. This card is the the essence of this deck. Basically, during the battle phase, if you have a Gaia the Dragon Champion, which there are 2 cards you summon that get named that card when they're summoned on the board, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phases. So both battle phases, opponent can't activate anything. Very, very powerful effect. And very good against pretty much hand traps is like the big thing that this will push out as Gaia enters the metagame. I think hand traps are essentially just done for at this point, and it's going to be definitely more into like the back row style, as you know, this deck does kind of struggle with back row a little bit. I think that's what you're going to see. Secondary effect is consistency. You can reveal a Gaia to add a level 5 dragon, which is going to be critical to get your main combos off, or you can reveal a dragon to add a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, which is also critical to getting your combos off. So amazing consistency, amazing effect on top of all that. Amazing card in general. You do have to play the card in your deck, so it has to be able to come out of your deck. It's not just a for a free card, so it is balanced kind of in that sense. So here you got the core cards on the screen. We'll start with Gaia the Magical Knight. If you control no monsters, your opponent controls a monster with 2,300 or more attack points. You can normal summon this card without tribute. When this guy gets normal summoned, you can also additionally special summon a Curse of Dragonfire. You can actually special summon any dragon type monster, level 5 or higher, but this is the one that we're going to be playing pretty much in the deck. Curse of Dragonfire. This one, if it's normal special, you can pop a field spell. You don't usually use that, although it can come in handy, taking out Necro Valleys and stuff like that. It's more so that you're going to be using it for the fusion effect. You take this card, and then using this card plus one other card, you can go into a fusion monster. So that is kind of the core combo. You normal summon this, special summon Curse of Dragonfire, and then go into one of the 2 Gaia fusions that we play. We play Gaia, the Magical Knight of Dragons. This is the big boy boss monster that you typically will bring out. It's considered Gaia, the Dragon Champion for the field spell when it's on the board. And then during your main phase, has to be the main phase, quick effect, you can go in and you can pop any card on the field. And then, well, you have to lose 2,600 attack points, then pop the card. So this is kind of where those interactions come to play. This card has to lose that 2,600 in order to pop something. So if you go to activate this effect, and they flip a Book of Moon or Canadia on you, your monster's not going to lose that attack points. You're not going to get your pop off. However, if they try to Book of Moon you first, then you can chain to them, lose your attack, pop the monster, and then go back face down. So little cool interactions with there. But basically, yeah, you can pop a monster for free, and then if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it'll gain 2,600 attack points. So if you don't want to pop anything, you can just go swing in. Now you're 5,200. You're a big, beefy boy at that point. And then Sky Galloping Gaia. This one allows you to add a Spiral Spear Strike, which is really cool for some piercing damage for your champion Gaias. And it lets you change, non-targeting, change the battle position of your opponent's monster when it's attacking. So turn it into defense mode, turn it into attack mode, whichever, you can change it to do maximum damage. I forgot to mention Galloping Gaia, the add effect. So the way that continuous spell traps and fields works is that they have to remain on the board to get their effect. So if you go to use this card effect, reveal a Gaia, the Fierce Knight, to add a Dragon type, for example, and then they Cosmic Cyclone or MST this, not only do you not get the effect, but because you tried to activate it and use its effect, and it resolved with no effect, essentially, you cannot activate a second Galloping Gaia and then go for the effect again. You can put it on the board, but you can't activate the effect again to search. So that is something to keep in mind when playing this card. Some people like to play this card at 2. I prefer to play it at 1 because of that downside. As people kind of realize how to play against this deck, they're pretty much just going to go in and try to hit you as soon as you play this card to try and stop you from getting too much advantage out of it. As far as other core cards go, we have the Soldier Gaia, the Fierce Knight. Quick effect, you contribute a Dragon-type fusion monster to special summon this card. If it's special summoned, target an attack position monster, changes to defense position. And then you can also, on your turn, you contribute this card to add another Gaia monster to your hand. So pretty, like, it's kind of semi-protection in a way. So let's say you have a Gaia, the Magical Knight of Dragons on the board, used a quick effect to pop a card. It has 0 attack. Your opponent still is able to play through it, summons a monster, goes for the attack. Bam! On your opponent's turn, tribute the fusion, bring out the Soldier Gaia. Now he could put a monster in defense mode, and if he survives on your follow-up turn, you could tribute him, add another Magical Knight. Magical Knight with the Galloping is another Curse of Dragonfire. It doesn't even matter. You can normal summon the Gaia, the Magical Knight, because now you're going to have no monsters on the board, and then summon from the graveyard Curse of Dragonfire. If you don't have that, boom, fusion again. So really, really nice. Only downside is if you summon this guy and then he ends up getting destroyed, then you're left with no recovery. So it is what it is, you know? Then you have Gaia, the Fierce Knight Origin. Now this card's super interesting for enabling OTKs. Basically, you can normal summon him level 4, and then he's treated as 2 tributes for a warrior type monster. Not so much of the relevant effect, but sometimes comes in clutch. But basically, you can send away a level 5 monster, so that's pretty much everything else in your deck, to special summon this guy. And then during the battle phase, quick effect, you can banish him, and he can return a monster's attack to its original value. So you can bring this guy out, fuse the Curse of Dragonfire with this, it's now in your graveyard, and then activate your Gaia, the Magical Knight effect, and then return his attack points, so you get the free pop, essentially. So really, really nice card, can be searched, just played at 1 for the most part for that enabled OTK value. That is pretty much the core crux of the deck. I do have some follow-up cards. These are, at this point, it's just kind of what you want to play to add on. But that is the core combo that you have. Some cards to mention that are super important that I think you should definitely have. Gateway to Chaos. Another field spell. It lets you add a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster. Which immediately enables your galloping. So I would definitely play this. I personally play this at 2 because you can only activate one of these per turn. So even if you had 3, if you open up 2 or more, it's kind of annoying. And the deck already has so much consistency that it doesn't really need that much more to play this card at 3. So personally, I play this at 2. But really, really good card to enable your consistency maneuvers. There's also Spiral, Spear, Strike. The other fusion lets you add this. The Galloping, Sky Galloping. Now this card's interesting because if Gaia the Fierce Knight or Swift Gaia or Gaia the Dragon Champion attacks a defensive monster, you inflict Piercing, and then if it's a Dragon Champion, you can draw 2, discard 1. These effects are really powerful, but it does feel kind of win more if you do not own Book of Moon. Book of Moon really makes this card much nicer than, without it. Because if you go, again, the Sky Galloping, no effects can be activated by your opponent during the battle phases. You go into battle phase with this bad boy on the board. In the battle phase, quick effect, put it face down, Spiral Strike. And then especially if you combo with this card, Concentrating Current, to double or increase the attack by the defense. And that's all piercing. That makes this card so much stronger than what typically you would see out of it. But I know not everyone has Book of Moon. Even though it's like the second or third most played card on the ladder, I know not a lot of people still have this card. So me personally, if you don't have Book of Moons, I would probably drop the Spiral Spear Strike. It does feel kind of win more at that point, and definitely be more useful for some other cards at that point. Some other really clutch cards. Definitely want to play some Forbidden Chalices. I play 2 because I only have 2, but I might even play 3 if I didn't have to play. If I didn't have my Book of Moon, I have 1 Book of Moon. Forbidden Chalice is amazing in general in this meta, but if you activate it on your fusion monster that's 0 attack, it'll go back up to its original attack plus the 400 because the effects get negated. Do be careful though. Forbidden Chalice will change the name back to the original name, so the field spell will no longer be protecting you in the battle phase. So keep that in mind when you're kind of dealing with that. But outside that, Forbidden Chalice, amazing for resetting your monsters, amazing in general. Quick play, can do it in the damage step to increase by 400 as well to take down. There's some huge threats that this deck actually lists. For example, Bowser. Bowser's 2700, so if automats go turn 1, make Bowser, it's actually kind of hard to deal with unless you have something like this in the damage step, take out the Bowser. So that is really, really good for us. We also have cards, Cosmic Cyclone, MST. This deck does lose to back row, so I would definitely make sure to have, if you have MST, play MST. If you don't have MST, don't sweat it. You can play Cosmic Cyclone, but MST is definitely better if you have that card available to you. We also have Dragon's Mirror and Necrofusion. I personally like Dragon's Mirror more because the quick play to pop 1 is once per turn. It's hard. You can't have multiple of them, so there's no real reason to summon on your opponent's turn with the Necrofusion. I would prefer just use Dragon's Mirror and immediately bring out another fusion monster. You can bring out Sky Galloping and the normal Gaia, bring out your Spiral Strike, stuff like that, which is really, really nice with the Dragon's Mirror. You can do that all in one turn, and you don't have the restriction of having to wait a turn to attack like Necrofusion. But Necrofusion lets you summon on your opponent's turn for that surprise value, so if that's something you prefer, go for that as well. Concentrating Current, we talked about that. It's just really, really good. World Legacy Clash is really clutch as well because World Legacy Clash lets you reset your attack while lowering your opponent's attack. So that's super clutch for this deck. For combat purposes, I don't use it as much because, again, if your card doesn't lose the attack, you don't get that pop. And right now, just straight up battling isn't really how the meta is going. There's definitely more pop effects going off. So, but it's there if you'd like to play it. And then lastly, I personally don't play these, but I've seen them running around: the Dark Flare Dragon, the Chaos Sorcerer, Banish a Light and Dark. You have Light and Darks with your Gaias and your monsters. So you can bring out these additional cards for some backup if you hard draw them. It's cute. I personally prefer a more pure play style, but they're there just to let you guys know. And yeah, I've seen some clutch wins come out from them. So that is kind of the core explanation of the deck. You can see it's much more straightforward compared to Resonators, for example, which is also pretty straightforward, if we're being honest. Let us go into some replays so I can show you what I'm talking about. This is the only replay I remember. I don't remember the rest of them, so we'll kind of click at random and see what we have. But this one here is just kind of showing the generic OTK. I think it's kind of cool to see it happen. You know, without Book of Moon or anything. I do think I was playing my one Book of Moon in these builds, but nothing too crazy beyond that. But this is a typical OTK that you can do pretty much fresh out of the box. So you can see here, this is a very basic board my opponent set up, T-set. There really is no threat. This is just showing you the bread and butter combo to OTK someone, right? So here we go, Cosmic Cyclone, get rid of the back rows, a Forbidden Lance, not that big of a deal. Dragonite Path, gonna go ahead, send one of my monsters back, brings out the Galloping Gaia. This is to turn off any hand traps that we may potentially run into. Go for the Galloping Gaia, show him my Curse of Dragon to add the Gaia the Fierce Knight Origin. Now I have my normal summon. I don't control any monsters, so I can normal summon Gaia, the Magical Knight. Gaia, the Magical Knight, will special summon the Curse of Dragonfire, and then I'm going to use the Gaia Origin effect to go ahead and bring out my Gaia Origin. And at this point, my opponent's dead. There's literally nothing he can do, unless that's like a Winkaribo down there. It's just nothing much more you can do. We go in for the Curse of Dragonfire effect. Go in for the Origin, so Origin can be in the graveyard, so I can activate his effect in the battle phase later. I bring out my fusion monster, Gaia the Magical Knight, activate his effect, lets me pop a card by reducing 2,600 attack points, and that's it. It's a Pump Princess. This was some weird Stromberg deck. I don't know what the plan was, but now we're in the battle phase. Galloping Gaia says your opponent cannot activate cards or effects, Sphere Karibos, Kiteroids, anything like that. Unusable. If you see lethal, you have lethal. Origin, boost the attack, swing, swing, swing. He's dead. That's your typical OTK. You can True Nade, you can Cosmic, you can MST, and if you have just that one card, get him out of here. So that was a really cool replay there. Let's see what else we have. Again, I don't remember all these, so we're going in blind together, boys. These are duels that I've been doing for a couple days. We'll watch like 2 or 3 of these. I believe these are all in Legend, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I had some Platinum replays, but I don't think I kept any of them. So here we go. We've got another Yugi on the board. He's going first. It was... oh, God. What the heck is this? All right. Digital bugs. What can we do here? Dragonite Path after Gaiaing, or Gateway of Chaos to add another card. Galloping shows the dragon. Brings out the Origin. Gaia the Magical Knight summons. Brings out the Curse. And now... I remember this duel. I knew this was Floodgate Trap Hole. I was reading the Hourglass. You can tell very easily when it's Floodgate Trap Hole. He tried to go for the super greedy play of floodgating my fusion monster. But the moment I knew it was Floodgate, because I set this card, there was no delays. The only delay was on the summon of my monsters. I was like, all right, man. I'm going to swing in, and I'm not going to let you Floodgate me. Cool. So now he goes for the his Cocoon. He sets another card. Go ahead, activate the Chalice. Going to stop the effect. No effect for you, Digibugs. My turn. Cosmic off the top. Because we're that talented. We know one is Floodgate. We can play around the Floodgate. Take out the other card. It was a Canadia. Irrelevant. Puts me face down. I flip up. There's the Floodgate. However, chat, keep this in mind. You can fuse with face-down monsters. Not that I really need to in this situation, but you can fuse with face-down monsters. Floodgate does nothing to this deck as long as your Curse of Dragonfire remains on face-up on the board. You can always fuse and continue to win the game. So here we go. We bring out the Origin, fuse with the face down monster, get rid of it. There is the Gaia the Magical Knight. And at this point, no hand traps. He cannot activate hand traps. They're all gone lethal. There you go. Let's see what else we have. There was one really good one. Let me see if I can find it here. I think it might have been this one. So, yeah, this deck, that Galloping Gaia, that is where you're really going to see a lot of the strengths of this deck come through. Let's see what we got here. So here we go. We have, I think this was Blackwing, actually. Nope, it was not. Oh, God, what is this? Life Point Boost Alpha. Here we go. Dragon's Knight Path. Amazing consistency. Turn 1, we're going to have... our Gaia Fusion, and we're going to have the Soldier Gaia for some protection as well. So here we go. Gaia the Magical Knight hits the board. My opponent goes. It is Desperado. Okay, so this one was pretty funny. So here we go. Twin Barrel comes down, goes for the pop, gets one heads, doesn't get the pop, sets a card face down. We go into the Galloping Gaia again. And then immediately we're going to go for the pop. I was being a little greedy here, but that's okay. Super Team Buddy Force Unite. Super Team Buddy Force Unite says, okay, I'm going to summon my Desperado for free. I say, okay, that's fine. Now Super Team reset itself. That's fine as well. Goes in for the Soldier Gaia. Tribute off the Fusion Monster. Now we tribute the Soldier Gaia. We're just going to normal summon because he has a 2300 monster, so we don't have to even do that. We're just clearing the board. We go in, Curse of Dragonfire, fuse again for another Gaia the Magical Knight. Desperado Barrel Dragon cannot activate because of Galloping Gaia. I can go into the battle phase, swing into this thing, become a 5200 monster, and he can't do anything about that. What's he gonna do? Desperado activates in the battle phase. He can't do nothing. Get him out of here. 5200. Swing in. Your turn. Ally of Justice. Cycle Reader. This card was triggering the whole time, and I was like, what the hell is in his hand? He goes in, tries to Super Team Buddy Force. We have a quick effect to stop that from happening. Take him out. No target. Cannot summon anything, but he had a Desperado in hand. Lucky him. Now he attempts to go in, attack, take out my Gaia. Now it's back to 26. Here's the thing. When Desperado commits to the attack, it loses the opportunity to go ahead and allow itself to activate the pop effect. So at this point, I'm safe. As soon as he attacked, I'm safe. I go in, bring out the Gaia the Fierce Knight, put him in defense mode. We are chilling. Tribute, add the Magical Knight again. And at this point, it's GG. We bring out the Magical Knight. He has a 2300 monster. We add the Curse of Dragonfire. Didn't even need that. And that's it, man. He is dead as hell. Bring out Gaia the Magical Knight. Now we're going to bring out the Gaia Origin. Swing, swing, swing. Swing, swing, swing. Swing, swing, swing. Game, set. So you can see there's some pretty cool interactions with that as well. Keeping all those in mind. So let's talk the meta now. The meta, so is pretty much Resonators, Harpies, Cyber Dragon, things of this nature, yeah? It's kind of weird because no matter what you're up against, what's kind of the most important is how you use your quick play, pop. So Harpies being able to quick play, pop, Chalice, all these things more than they could Swallow's Nest you, right? Or just letting the Harpy Fusion come out, or the Synchro come out, and then just popping the Synchro and calling it a day from there. This deck relies on knowing when to pop things. So popping the initial, if you don't see any delays in Harpies, popping the initial summon is very, very powerful. Popping the Red Rising Dragon and Resonators is very, very powerful, especially if you have something like a Forbidden Chalice in the back to stop further plays. Stopping just quick play disruption in general can really disrupt Resonators. They're really not good at stopping you from doing that. So that's something to keep in mind. And Cyber Dragon, I mean, Cyber Dragon is just Cyber Dragon. You gotta try your best to bring out your Soldier Gaia, because you can put attack mode monsters in defense mode for the big boy monsters, and then just Cosmic Cyclone, the field spell, so they don't have the fusion gate or anything. and just try your best not to go first, essentially. If they go first, set up overflow, you're probably going to lose. That's just how these things happen. This deck definitely loses to back row, so having good back row disruption, MST, Cosmic, stuff like that is very, very important. And if you don't have something like that, being able to, you know, have that backup with the Soldier Gaia is super, super important as well. If you're looking to counter this deck, there are a couple of chokeholds. If you're running into these issues, you can take out the Galloping Gaia. Remember, if you take out the Galloping Gaia, they're not going to be able to, even if they have 2, because some builds play 2. I personally don't like 2, but hey, it is what it is. If you have 2 of these, you can't activate the add effect of both. You can only activate 1. It gets disrupted. You don't get the add effect, and then you can't activate the second Galloping Gaia for the add effect. You can only use the battle phase effect of it. So that's a good chokehold. And then if anything happens to the Curse of Dragonfire, this is really the important one. If this gets floodgated, Canadiad, whatever, the easiest way to bring this bad boy out is with the Gaia the Magical Knight. And then beyond that, you're gonna be like, you know, doing a tribute summon or going for like a Dragon's Mirror, but Dragon's Mirror only works in the field or the graveyard. So if you're able to stop this Curse of Dragonfire, it pretty much is going to end everything that they're going to be doing with that deck. So there you go, nice little counterplay for it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say about this deck. I like it a lot. It's fun to like shut down those hand traps that have been annoying for so long. So if you don't like hand trap decks, Fire Kings, Yosenju, stuff like that, you know, this is definitely the deck for you to play. Which I actually think I just remembered. I think I have a replay against Fire Kings to show. I think it might have been this one. We'll just have the replay running in the background. But basically, yeah, any hand traps, Chiroid, Sphere, anything like that, you can stop from activating. Battle traps, Floodgate, stuff like that. As long as it's not a disruption back row, you're pretty much good to go. This is actually Resonators, so we can put this on the screen very quickly and watch this. So here we go, playing against Asta here with Jack's Resonators. Very quickly goes to the Resonator's Call. Goes for the Crimson, goes for this. You guys know this line of play by now. No back row, but even if you did, we have the Cosmic for it. We go in, Dragon Knight's Path, return that Cosmic, say I don't need it. Galloping Gaia brings out my combo. Double Chalice. Chalice is really strong against Resonators, so I definitely wanted to keep both, and Book of Moon. We go in, make the Gaia the Magical Knight. I didn't have the Sky Gal or my Spiral Strike at this point, but I might have made the other one. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Go in. I'm 5,200. I know he has a lot of life points. I'm not trying to OTK him. I'm just going to try and control him to death. Wild Wind. Here he goes. Crimson Resonator. Add it to the hand. Wild Wind tries to come out. Book of Moon it right away, so it can't do nothing, and I get to keep my attack points. He Demon's Resonance for the red Resonator. Adds the Wild Wind. He only has 1 Wild Wind left, baby. We go in, quick effect, take out the Solemn Scolding. Don't even need the Cosmic anymore. I have plenty of attack points. Go in, swing into the Wildman. He only has 1 left at this point. Does nothing. So this is what he tried to do. Because this effect only activates in the main phase, he tried to bait it by going into the battle phase, forcing my pop, and then he tries to summon something. But looking at his board, if he just tries to go into battle phase in phase, he has nothing. So I don't care if I don't get my pop off. I let him do it, and it looks like he just passes turn. So he's going for a big brain play, but then we bigger brain and say, okay, I'm going to let you do it. Be careful of that bait and switch. People are going to try to proceed into the next phase to try and get you to quick trigger your effect. You don't need to do that if their board is weaker than yours. There's no reason to. We go into our turn, add the Origin. At this point, we're feeling confident. Bring out the Origin, tributes the Origin for the Magical Knight. Magical Knight brings out the Curse of Dragonfire, brings out the Sky Galloping Gaia. Gonna go ahead, take out one of the monsters, swings in, 2k to the face, 26 as well. He's down to 1,000. There isn't much more he can do at this point, so we're gonna toy with him a little bit. Goes in the Crimson Resonator. I remember I have the 2 Forbidden Chalices in the back. Takes out the Wild Wind. He Lava Golems me. What the? Okay. Probably should have done that first, but it is what it is. Goes in. Now he just has a Crimson Resonator. I had the Forbidden Chalices ready. Doesn't really matter. Dragon's Mirror off the top. Boom, boom, boom. Gaia the Night, Magical Knight. That is game, set. Nothing can do if he has Sphere Kuriboh in hand. Demon's Resonance can add that. Doesn't matter. He dead. He gone. Alright, well there you go. Nice little duel to finish off the video on. If you guys enjoy this type of content, again, just let me know down in the comments. I enjoy doing this type of content. Again, it does come out a little bit slower because I want to make sure that the information I'm providing you is complete and right, rather than just speeding it out. But if you prefer me to speed it out, let me know that too. If you prefer it just come out faster, and I can just show you day 1 strategies with update videos or whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter. However we want to do this. Just leave a comment, let me know. And if you really have nothing to say, leave a comment and say, hey man, I love you. And I'll reply and I'll say I love you too. Take it easy, YouTube. I will see you around. Peace.